Hi there, I'm Andy Stevenson. Now, in this video, I will explore the question of whether it is a good idea, or not, to apply sound effects to an audiobook production project. So, So, when the wind is howling, or wolves are doing the same, or if there is a gunfight or a horde of screaming zombies are invading the town, should the narrator opt to apply appropriate sound effects to stimulate the listener's imagination during such scenes? Or should they just narrate and leave it at that? Stick with me through this video as I explore the pros and cons of using sound effects and come to a conclusion on whether it is a yes or a no. And I'm reckoning that if you're a narrator, new or experienced, or an author, or an audiobook listener, whichever category you are in, this video will be relevant and I hope of interest to you. So, before we consider this question, let's first examine what is the norm. The reality is that for the huge majority of audiobooks you download every day, the professional standard is to have no sound effects at all. And it's not for the reason of saving money. It's a deliberate artistic choice that gets to the very heart of what an audiobook is meant to be. Because the first thing to get straight is that an audiobook is not a radio drama, nor is it trying to be a movie in your ears. The goal isn't to create some massive high-tech cinematic soundscape. Instead, it's all about creating an incredibly intimate connection between three people: the author, the narrator, and you, the listener. Okay, now as we explore this further, if you're intent on staying with this video, then please do me a favour and click that like button. And please subscribe to my channel if you want to stay connected to videos all about audiobooks for narrators, authors and listeners. So let's just stop and think about what it feels like to listen to a great audiobook. It's like someone is right there with you, telling you a story. It's personal. The narrator's voice is the main event, the direct line from the author's words to your imagination. Their performance, the rhythm, the emotion, the character voices should carry the entire story and stimulate your imagination to create vivid pictures in your mind. So the second you drop in a random sound effect, the vibrancy and creativity of your imagination is dented. A sudden fake-sounding noise can be jarring, yanking you out of the story and reminding you that you're just listening to a production. It steals focus from the human voice that has, up to that point, been your only guide. Top performers know their job is to connect you to the words, and anything that competes with their voice can create a problem. Now, a few years ago, fairly early on in my narrating career, I was narrating a military thriller. There was a scene where a guy was hiding in a building, and then machine gun fire opened up outside, along with mortar shelling. The author had written several onomatopoeic words to describe the sounds such as rat-a-tat and boom. I thought that if I just read those, it might sound inauthentic, a little bit naff. So I acquired some appropriate sound effects of guns and shells blazing and replaced those words with them. To my surprise, a couple of reviews said that whilst they enjoyed the audiobook and the story, they didn't like those sound effects and found them distracting and inappropriate. I've never used sound effects since. The other huge reason for a clean voice-only performance is to protect the single most powerful special effect in existence, your imagination. When you read a book, you create the world. You cast the characters, you build the sets, you compose the mood music. A great narrator doesn't replace that process. They simply give it encouragement and give it fuel. Since that experience with the sound effects, I've come to the conclusion that it is the narrator's responsibility to voice act effectively enough so that their voice alone paints a picture with tone and emotion but leaves the final details for the listener's brain to fill in. So when the narrator's voice gets faster, you don't just hear urgency, you see the frantic chase through the streets. If the voice portrays alarm and tension and utters a rat-tat-tat-tat, it creates the image of the gunfight. A generic creaky door from a sound library will never be as terrifying as the one your mind conjures when the narrator whispers, "Slowly, the door began to open." The performance should be enough, and leaving that space for your brain to do the work makes the whole experience more powerful. And finally, there's the simple practical risk of just getting it wrong. Sound design is its own art form. A cheap sounding effect, a sound that doesn't quite match, or terrible mixing that drowns out the narration can instantly ruin the experience. You see listeners complain about this all the time in forums and reviews. How a corny or overly loud sound effect completely broke the immersion. Because it's so easy to get wrong, the guiding principle becomes less is more. If the story works perfectly well without the effect, it's almost always better to leave it out. The risk of a bad sound effect doing real damage is way higher than the potential benefit of a good one. It can shatter the spell the performer has spent hours carefully weaving. And what's more, audiobook platforms such as Audible are generally not that keen on using sound effects, for the reasons I've already outlined, but also because they can complicate the QA process, where the overall recording must meet quite exacting audio requirements. If a sound effect is too loud or it obscures the narrator's voice, the recording could be rejected. So is that the end of the argument? Sound effects are a total no-no? Well, yes and no. Oh, heck, there's always a but, isn't there? Well, finally, you have to admit that different genres and formats play by different rules. Whilst a literary novel will almost always be pure narration, other categories are built for sound. There's a growing world emerging of dramatised adaptations or cinematic audio, like the productions of internationally renowned stories which may also have the profile of having been featured as a movie and are marketed as such. A movie in your mind. These often feature a full cast of actors, a musical score, and tons of sound effects. Here, the sound isn't just an add-on, it's a core part of the whole experience. But those kind of productions are not going to be in the realms of the independent individual narrator. It's a different animal altogether, and whilst they may be available through audiobook platforms such as Audible and Spotify, are they audiobooks in the original sense of the word? I don't think so. Ultimately, this whole debate isn't about sound versus no sound, it's about the listener's experience. The core belief in professional narration is that the human voice is the most powerful tool for sparking your imagination. Silence and space are what allow the theatre of the mind to come alive. But hey, I want to hear from you. What do you prefer? Do you like your audiobooks completely clean? Or do you enjoy some extra production value? Can you think of an audiobook where a sound effect totally made or broke the experience for you? Or are you a narrator who has used sound effects and feel positive about them? Let me know in the comments below, and if you found this useful or just interesting, please remember, give this video a like and please subscribe to my channel. It's entirely free and always will be. So, thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to see me again soon. Cheers for now.